Hello everyone. Hello everyone, and thank you very much for your attention, for participating in this stream. I will say traditional for this moment Wednesday stream. So it's two streams, Wednesday and Sundays. Now it's of course 12 of Hello everyone, 9 o'clock in the evening Moscow time. Hello everyone, and thank you very much for your attention. For participating in this
I don't think
stream.
it is necessary to introduce
I will say
this
traditional
itself. It's always
for
the
this
same.
moment.
I will go through some
Wednesday stream, so it's two streams, Wednesday and Sundays.
They are
Now
very
it's of course
interesting.
12 of
Hello
everyone,
still,
9 o'clock in the evening Moscow
developments.
time. Hello everyone, and thank you very much for your attention, for
Yes,
participating in
I
this
don't think
stream.
it is necessary to introduce
I will say
this stream
traditional
itself. It's always
for
the
this
same. I will
moment.
go through. Sorry, dear friends, there was some issue with the sound, but it's supposed to be okay now. And of course, I will be engaged actively with the chat, and I will try to answer in best of my abilities if I see questions. So once again, thank you all for your attention, for participating in this stream, and many thanks to all the members of our community who will watch this, who will join later on, and who will watch this stream in a recording. And well, first of all, dear friends, before I start with the news, let me thank Al Peterson, member of our community, for donation. Al donated on Boosty for a computer. I can show you, by the way. Some time ago, about like 2 months ago, maybe a little more now, I had to write something here, and because my notebook is, I chose computer, and at the time, more or less workable computer that will be good enough for streams and work was costing about 100k with a discount, 90 something. I don't know price for now, but we already collected 62,000 rubles. So thank you all, of course, for support, and thanks to Al Peterson, also to Mark and Diego, by the way. They supported me through PayPal, so thank you all, of course. And right now I can see message here. Jerry Cogan, thank you very much, Jerry, for your support. Good evening, this is the comment. Levant and everyone, I read that Georgia is now preparing to reopen diplomatic relations with Russia. Good news. I will definitely comment on that news, undoubtedly. Thank you, Jerry, for support and commentary. And well, why am I talking about Boosty and donations and stuff? So this is Boosty, of course, and you can send the question if you want to discuss that topic 100%, and also you can use donation alert during the stream. And by the way, last stream, I end last stream on Sunday, and after some time I received this message that Jack Hudson, also a veteran of our community, donated $10 on Sunday, last Sunday. So once again, I will like to thank Jack for support. And well, that's been said, let's talk about news now. And well, if it's okay, after every video, by the way, I can mention the names of the members of our community who is supporting this small media project of mine and my work. That's at least what I can do for as a response. And of course, I will do my best to make interesting programs. And well, sorry for long introduction, and let's talk about news now, I guess. Jerry just mentioned information that was circulating yesterday on internet that Georgian and Russian governments are preparing to restart diplomatic relationships. And Russian Foreign Ministry commented on it. I spoke about this topic yesterday, I believe, on the Patreon. Yesterday or day before, and Russian Foreign Ministry commented on this topic, and according to that comment, this information was spread by so-called opposition media in Georgia to create some internal tensions in the country. And in reality, unfortunately, I will say, seems like there are not really talks between the sides to reopen embassies and restart diplomatic relationships, which is, I mean, sad. Obviously, if diplomatic relationships were rebuilt between Moscow and Tbilisi, I'm quite sure that will help both countries to overcome some very serious issues that was created by previous governments in Georgia, especially by governments of Saakashvili, but it is what it is. Sadly, seems like this information is not confirmed yet. Let's say this way. Maybe there are some talks, but it's not officially confirmed. Also, let's talk about some other news. And this morning, as always, I start my work with greetings to our community on my Telegram. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning. Then I shared this information that missile attack was repelled over the Sevastopol during the nighttime, early hours of the morning. I spoke about it in first update, so no need to repeat. There was no reports about casualties on the ground or damage. All the missiles, all the Ukrainian missiles were intercepted. And also, by the way, Russian armed forces conducted during the nighttime and the early hours of the morning missile strikes on logistical and military infrastructure of Kiev regime. And explosions were heard in Odessa, Zaporozhye, Dnipropetrovsk, Poltava, Sumy, Kiev, Vinnytsia regions. One of the main direction of these Russian strikes, missile strikes and drone strikes, were Kiev and Kiev region, basically. Also, I shared this footage. I mean, just imagine how powerful these FAB 1500s really are. Just people that are in 100 meters from this explosion probably have a concussion. Not probably, most definitely. It is the case. This is arrival of Russian ODAP 1500 on the point of concentration of 54th Separate Infantry Brigade of Ukrainian Armed Forces in Seversk, by the way. As I predicted, almost straight away after Russian Armed Forces liberated Avdiivka, potential next side of their sectoral level offensive, in my opinion, most likely will be Seversk, and we clearly see more and more activity of Russian forces in Seversk direction. After all, in Seversk direction, Russian forces relatively recently established control over their Belogorovka settlement, which was a stronghold of the Kiev regime in this area. Russian forces also conducting offensive operations in Sporne area. Also, when it comes to southern side of Seversk, it's of course Razdolovka, Fyodorovka directions. So Russian side is clearly very active in this direction, and right now focus is on destruction of manpower and military equipment of Kiev regime. But at some point, of course, we will see most likely ground offensive operations also on sectoral scale. That's been said. I will, of course, monitor chat simultaneously. And if any questions, of course, I will try my best to give you answer. So right now, and dear friends, if you have a question, or if you want to highlight some topic, please write in capital letters or before question capital Q, so I will see it a little easier. And once again, hello everyone, and thank you for your attention. And is sound okay now? Earlier I forgot to turn down sound on YouTube, that's why there was some issue for a couple of seconds. So Yaroslav Pelicek is asking, what is your favorite beverage? Mine is black coffee without milk. My little brother drinks Coca-Cola. Feel free to write your favorite beverage into the chat. Best wishes, Yaroslav. Yaroslav is asking everybody, not just me. Well, coffee, yes. My favorite is coffee also. I really rarely drink tea, although tea is great, obviously, but I'm more about coffee, that's for sure. Which is quite understandable, I guess, because I'm in journalism since 17 years, and I don't know why. Maybe it's some psychological stuff that I think coffee gives me some additional energy, and that's why probably during the day I drink, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 cups of coffee, if not more. I always have a coffee, always. So also questions. For now, I did not see question, dear friends, and therefore let me continue with the news. And then I shared, of course, link to my first update and also second update on Patreon. Hopefully you and the members of our community will find updates interesting and informative. And well, I can see question. Z1 to IT is asking, Levan, did the Russian Navy start their sea trials near Havana? Not yet. Thank you for your question. This evening, videos start circulating on internet, and I shared at least one of those videos on my Telegram channel also about Russian warships, Russian frigate and Russian nuclear submarine, by the way, in port of Havana. During the recent days, there was many people were asking, isn't it? Where is the Russian submarine, this nuclear submarine Kazan? We all knew that it was moving towards Cuba, but no one knew where exactly that submarine was. So today that submarine appeared, and a little late, I will. If you have not seen it yet, I will share with you video of that submarine while it moves towards port of Havana. And I believe Admiral Gorshkov, isn't it? Frigate is also there. But by the way, this is what we know. This is official information, but who knows, maybe there are some additional submarines somewhere there. Most likely that's exactly the case. So you never know. Also, I can see a question. Evgenius BC Mumbai is asking, hello community, where to in Sumy will the Russian forces move to? Levan, well, that's a question for $1 million. I'm not quite sure Russian forces will start a Sumy offensive anytime soon. That operation, that information that we received recently about liberation of one settlement, Rizhovka, isn't it? Name of that village in the Sumy region. My understanding is that some reckoning force operation was conducted by Russian forces, and probably they did not even expect that they will manage to establish control over the entire settlement. That operation went quite smoothly, rapidly, and well, once the Russian forces were in control of village, they just I guess stayed there, and after that information was shared with public that Russian forces liberated this settlement. And I know many experts, many military experts are talking about possible Sumy offensive. I'm not military expert, by the way, of course, but it seems logical to me also that maybe we will see in Sumy area also Russian local scale offensive operation to create a buffer zone, but because of this current development around this Rizhovka settlement, when just one village was did become under Russian control, and then for last day or two nothing really happened in that direction, that development is I see it as an indicator that maybe Russian side have no plans for now to conduct to start creation of the buffer zone in the Sumy region. But yet again, let's see. But I mean, of course, I cannot know, even if we will see Russian local scale offensive operations in Sumy directions. There is no way I can know where exactly Russian forces will appear. It's classified information, obviously, so we can only have informed guesses, I guess, at this point. But yet again, I'm not even sure that Russian side has any plans for a near future, for next day or two or week or two, to conduct such a operation in the Sumy region. But sometime in the future, for sure, 100%. Also, by the way, William Stasuna, NATO North America terrorist organizations. Well, this is a statement, of course, and well, NATO, yes, I will say NATO is a terrorist organization. After what NATO did to Yugoslavia, after what NATO did to Afghanistan, after what NATO did to Libya, by the way, and Syria, I mean, well, what else can you call? And after what NATO does right now, by supporting neo-Nazis and terrorists in Ukraine, in Kyiv regime, well, what else are you gonna call them? Leadership of the NATO. They are war criminals, in my personal opinion, and supporters of the terrorism, for sure. David Faulkner is asking, ATACMS strikes a few days ago by Ukraine. Was any Russian and former Eastern Ukrainian targets hit? There was information that like few days ago, some 10 to 12 ATACMS were launched towards Crimea, isn't it? If you are talking about this episode, and according to reports, Kyiv regime was sharing information that they destroyed some, I don't know, three or four Russian air defense systems, which is, I mean, it does makes no sense, by the way. If they will say we destroy one air defense system, okay, that's plausible. Theoretically, that might happen, and but after all, it's a high-intensity military conflict. But when Kyiv regime starts through its propaganda outlets start spreading information that they destroy some free Russian S-300 or S-400 air defense systems, it did become clear straight away that it was nonsense. It was just propaganda, and there was no reports, by the way, about damage in Crimea. So all the aerial targets were destroyed according to information that is available here. Where are the videos from, Lev? Well, as you can see, dear friends, I'm subscribed to many channels on Telegram. I constantly have open. Right now, I don't really need these media outlets that I have open. Some of them I was, for example, just recently reading some articles, because after I record the daily update, I'm beginning to start working for next update, for next day, isn't it? And whenever I see interesting news, of course, I'm marking that news to share in the next updates. Not all of them, because when news are like 30, 40 news, I have to choose. Even now, when I divide main update in two. First part is on YouTube and Rumble. Second is on Patreon. Still, I have to, I cannot make like 2-hour, 3-hour longer programs, isn't it? So I have to choose among those news. Well, periodically media outlets are sharing some videos, but most usual source is of course Telegram channels. And by the way, if you are not familiar, I'll give you at least several, if you are interested in military topics, and also political, by the way. Slaviangrad channel is a big channel, by the way. 101,000, almost 102,000 subscribers there. DD Geopolitics is a Donbass Девушка. That was a yearly name of this channel. That's how it became a famous big name, I will say, on news and political commentary segment. Also, I have Kirill Fyodorov is a Russian language channel. Kirill Fyodorov is blogger. He's from Latvia, I believe, by the way. He was jailed in Latvia for his citizen journalism, and he escaped basically from Latvia. He was released because he did not commit any crime. He was arrested just because of his journalism. He was released, and of course he flee Latvia after that, and he is in Russia. And as you can see, by the way, his channel has 520,000 subscribers, so he's a big name in Russian blogosphere, I will say. Also, Geopolitics Live. I'm subscribed to RT News. Russian Defense Ministry's official Telegram channel. Of course, you can see many videos here also. Solovyov Live is a Russian language channel, but a big channel, 1,300,000 subscribers. They are providing quite a big volume of information. And Solovyov himself, I was once asked about Solovyov. Solovyov himself is a well-known journalist here in Russia. And I mean, there are so many channels, by the way, on Telegram. I mean, so that's the main source of videos. Question. Jimpa Sarotri is asking, dear friends, sorry if I mispronouncing your nicknames or names. I apologize for that. Question: is Lithuania still restricting Russian supply to Kaliningrad via Suwalki Gap? Well, Suwalki Gap is in Poland, dear friend, so Lithuania cannot prevent anything there. But Baltic states, including Lithuania, first of all, of course, they were trying to create some issues with Russia, with supply of Kaliningrad region, because if you take a look at the map, there is two ways to supply Kaliningrad region. Let's zoom out from this map, and well, this is Baltic Sea, of course, and well, this is Kaliningrad. Well, this is Kaliningrad, by the way. Sorry. From one side is Poland, from other side is Lithuania, and Suwalki Gap is on Polish territory. This small area here in between Kaliningrad region of Russian Federation and Belarus. This area called Suwalki Gap, and issue was not Suwalki Gap itself. Issue was that Lithuania was preventing, creating some artificial barriers for supplying Russian region of Kaliningrad, which goes against agreements between Lithuania and Russia. Moscow reacted on that, and after some time, I guess even Brussels get involved, other capitals, other EU capitals, and they basically force Lithuanian government to back down. And now there might be some issues when it comes to transfer of goods from mainland Russia to Kaliningrad through Lithuania, but there are no major issues as far as I understand. So no, right now there are no issues there. And Froch Flanagan is asking Levan, have you considered interviewing Rachel Blevins? Yes, dear friends, I have considered so many people, but I know I spoke about this topic many times, and just recently, like a week ago, I did write a letter to one of the experts, by the way, and asked for an interview. No reply, and I remember why I stopped making those interviews, because these people, I mean, they are busy. They may have no time even to read the letter, because why would they ignore me? I mean, if they see a letter, they could easily say that, sorry, I'm busy, and therefore I cannot give you an interview right now. Maybe sometime in the future. It's easy, isn't it? But those people are busy, and I guess they have not, they just have no time. As I said, just a week ago, I wrote to one well-known expert, by the way, and no response, no nothing, and therefore I'm not even gonna try no more, man. I'm just I will do what I do. I will try to make maybe more content, more informative. I will try to improve my skills as a presenter, but I don't want to have programs that are fully dependent on other people. In this particular case, when it comes to interviews, of course, it fully depends on people that you want to invite. And because I experienced these issues, I don't really have I love interviews itself. I love good conversation, but because one expert ignored second, third, fifth, I don't know, man. Otherwise, I will interview Rachel Blevins. Why not? But I guess she will ignore me also if I will write letters. So I don't even want to, try at this point to ask anybody for interview. I just don't need it. There are so many other channels that these people are guests on regular basis. I have a small channel without, I'm not pretending to be anything other than myself. So, it is what it is. It's sad, by the way. It's quite unfortunate, but that's just reality in this segment in this business. If you are big, if you have connections, that's a whole different story. Then things probably are easier, but I don't have any connections, by the way. As I said, it's me, and whatever you see on my channels, by the way, on YouTube, Rumble, Telegram, or Patreon, it's done by me, and my family members are helping me time to time to, film something or to remind me about something. Just now, in the beginning of this stream, my wife came in and tell me that I didn't turn down sound on YouTube. So, and I have no connections, by the way, nowhere. So it's that's the answer, dear friend. I know many of you want to see interview with many of you are really supporting me, my work, and want to see these big names on the channel and interview with them, but I am too small for that, So it is what it is. Also, Nedish Kumar is asking, can you bring any former diplomats of Russia for a discussion? Will Russian government allow it? I don't think Russian government is deciding which former or current official will go to on which channel, or it's not working like that. It's not a problem, but once again, issue is connections. In my case, by the way, I don't have connections. I don't know people in Russian parliament or among blogosphere or something. So I write once to one blogger who constantly has guests, and I ask if he can help me to connect with these experts. And that blogger also ignored me, so I just don't even want to try no more, you know. Just let other people do it. I'm just too old for that, man. You know. So Flanagan, thanks for your answer. I hope I did not upset you. It was not my... No. Thank you very much for your question. What you are talking about? No, it's just in general. It's it will be good, of course, if I be able to invite guests and have interviews. Members of our community can send questions earlier, so I can ask those questions also. It will benefit our community, it will benefit this channel. It's just obvious, isn't it? But unfortunately, I was unsuccessful to invite those guests too many times, and therefore I just don't really want to even try no more. You know. So Dan One Disborg is asking, Levan, when is the BRICS meeting in Kazan? I believe it's in autumn, but you know what? Let's Google it right now during the live stream. Summit BRICS of Kazan. So it has to be in between 22nd and 24th of October 2024. That's when BRICS summit will take place. So it will start on 22nd of October if there will be no changes in the plans, and it will end on 24th of October. So I knew it was in autumn, but I could not remember now exact time. So yes, it's in late October. And I mean, I don't know about Russian diplomatic policy, so asked it. Oh, I mean, thank you for your question, Nidish. It's okay, of course. Yes, once again, I mean, I can theoretically, if I had connections, if my channel was a little bigger, probably it would not be an issue to invite politicians that can speak in English, public figures or diplomats, or I mean, no one controlling this stuff. By the way, you are free to do whatever you want, as long as you are not breaking the law. If politician, for example, let's say from parliament is a member of he or she is a member of the, let's say, defense committee. Of course, that person has a clearance to reach some classified information. Probably they are receiving some briefings, and those people, of course, they have no right to talk about that classified stuff. But this is simple. I mean, this is a case everywhere. Just, I mean, name the country. It is the case in every country. Otherwise, they can talk about any other topic that is not classified. From politics, geopolitics to, I don't know, sport, for example, football, let's say. So, yet again, if my channel was a little bigger, if I had connections, then I would be able to invite people. But right now, I'm in a position when I'm not even sure this project of mine will exist in next 2-3 months time. So you know. Dan Van Disborg is you won't believe, but it blocked in EU. I can't find it. Oh, interesting. I did not knew about that. That in Europe this information is blocked about BRICS conference. I'm not really that surprised that they might block some official sites of the BRICS, at least Russian sites that are connected with the BRICS or sharing information about it. But well, still, by the way, it's too depressing, really, to see almost on daily basis degradation of the freedoms in collective West. Who would think about it? Like even 20 years ago, but right now we are where we are. That even some basic information is becoming some issue. And Nidish Kumar is asking, what is opinion about EU Parliament divide to extreme ends ideology? Well, it is quite interesting, isn't it, that after this election, this divide in European Parliament and in Europe in general will further increase between extreme left and extreme right. This is just factual, but once again, as I said before, these elections in European Parliament, of course, number of these let's say in the small independent groups, left or right, even though number of those politicians from those groups will increase in European Parliament, in general, it will have no influence over the policies of the Parliament itself or Brussels. European Parliament itself is not really, what they can do. They're not really that powerful in Europe, but still, even in terms of policies there, this current divide will have no much influence, I guess, and nothing fundamentally will change. Just time to time we will see some videos of firing speeches of these independent MPs, European MPs from left or right, like it was before, but in general nothing will change. That's just the reality on the ground, in my understanding. But our friends from Europe, they can share opinion, of course. They know better. So, dear friends, let me continue with some news, and also let me check here, and let me check here. And okay, let's continue with some news, because as I said, dear friends, it's quite interesting videos and informations I published on my Telegram later on today towards evening. And well, this is a video of early morning when Israeli air defense system was dealing with the missiles that were launched from Lebanon by Hezbollah, and after that, after a couple of hours, Lebanese Hezbollah launched another more than 100 rockets towards Israel, and I shared video of that interceptions also. This is it, by the way. So unfortunately, hostilities between Israel and Lebanon are increasing on daily basis, and I'm afraid we are getting closer to the point when some large-scale, full-scale, let's say, military conflict may start there between IDF and Hezbollah. Also, I shared this information, this post, that US will send to Ukraine another Patriot missile system after Kiev's desperate call for air defense. So nowadays we have additional information that US will send another Patriot. Also Germany is supposed to send Patriot and Iris-T. Italy promised to send their air defense system. Also France So I guess another batch of these air defense systems is about to arrive in Ukraine. Some of them probably already are there, and who knows? Maybe Russian missile and drone strike last night. One of the main direction was exactly those air defense systems, to destroy air defense systems that maybe arrived just recently there. And well, today, it was today, isn't it? I shared video of destruction of another S-300. Of course, it's not Western-made weapon system. It's yes, Z12IT is commenting. Italy is about to send SAMP-T. Yes, absolutely. That's air defense system that Italy is planning to send. And in that video, you can see destruction of S-300, old Soviet era air defense system, but still very capable one. And I guess Western air defense systems will be destroyed also. And I share, dear friends, this footage of Chisovyar from bird's eye view. And well, by the way, this footage is clear confirmation of my explanations about why Russian side is not conducting these large-scale offensive operations like many were expecting, like these Arrow offensives. Just look what happened to Chisovyar. It's just almost obliterated. There is no building that is not damaged there. And this is why Russian armed forces are using these mobile defense tactics and moving forward slowly, very slowly. And basically, main task of Russian forces right now is to demilitarize Kyiv regime, to neutralize as much military force that Kyiv regime has as possible, using more or less current line of contact. Of course, when in certain areas Kyiv regime forces are collapsing and retreating, it is becomes necessary for Russian forces to move forward, like it happened in Bakhmut, for example. Russia was using Bakhmut as a meat grinder, so-called, or trap for quite some time, but at some point Kyiv regime forces just collapsed there. They withdrawn after losing from 50 to 90,000 military personnel, by the way. And understandably, next trap was after Bakhmut, Chisovyar. Probably Russian general staff would prefer to still continue battles in Bakhmut and to neutralize Kyiv regime forces on Bakhmut line, but well, the Kyiv regime's units that just were no longer capable to maintain their positions there, and they withdraw towards Chisovyar, towards Ivanovsk. There are some other settlements also there, of course. And now look what happened to Chisovyar because of this high intensity of clashes, man. It's devastated, absolutely. And can you imagine if Russian side right now conducts large-scale offensive operations before Ukrainian armed forces collapsed entirely? Can you imagine level of destruction, level of casualties, first of all, and level of destruction? It's so that's why Russia is opposed to that tactic or strategy of these Arrow offensives, to minimize casualty numbers and to minimize ground, damage on the ground to infrastructure, because this city, by the way, Chisovyar, will be rebuilt by Russia, and every other settlement that will be liberated by Russian forces. And of course, less damage is done during the military operation, better for everybody. And Z12IT is asking, Levan, did you see or read anything about the rebuilding and revival of Bakhmut, Artyomovsk? No, Bakhmut, they are no, because Chisovyar and Bakhmut are too close to each other, and line of contact in general are too close to Bakhmut. It's just too early to start rebuilding process in Bakhmut, because Kyiv regime forces are able to shell that area, I mean, quite easily. So now once Chisovyar will be liberated, just take a look at the map. So where is the Bakhmut? Is here somewhere. So this is Bakhmut, isn't it? So this is Bakhmut, and this is Chisovyar. Distance from Bakhmut to Chisovyar is like, I don't know, 10-15 kilometers. I don't think it's more than that. So of course, while line of contact is this close, it is not really plausible to start rebuilding of Bakhmut. But once Russian forces will liberate Chisovyar and move forward towards Kramatorsk, Slavyansk, last more or less capable defense line of Kiev regime in this area. For that moment, most likely we will see beginning of the massive reconstruction of the Bakhmut, because distance from line of contacts towards Bakhmut and Bakhmut will be, big enough. But yet again, there are no rush on Russian side. No need to conduct to force these offensive operations. Russian forces will take time and gradually, step by step, continue demilitarization of the Kiev regime, which being done by Russian army quite successfully. So let's continue. And by the way, sanctions. Of course, sanctions again. Washington aims to widen sanctions on sales of microchips to Russia, according to Reuters. So US is reportedly planning to announce more restrictions on the supply of semiconductors and their other goods to Russia on Wednesday. So today this announcement has to probably will be made by White House. Reuters reported about it, and well, I wonder why semiconductors, why no washing machines, man? Why Washington don't wants to impose restrictions of supplies of washing machines to Russia, or what else Ursula Bursula was talking about. Why directly microchips? It's crazy, man. These guys, whoever is in charge there, they cannot really think straight. I mean, they really are stupid, I guess, After 20,000 sanctions that they impose on Russia, they still thinking that they may impose another one or two and it will change something, man. How crazy those people really are, I don't know. And I see a question here. Jack Leurs is asking, as a Russian patriot, don't you think the longer the Russian military longer the Russian military, I don't know this word, man, how to read it even, deters in conquering Ukraine, the risk of world war develops. Well, first of all, I don't think Russia is conquering anything, really. Russia is liberating basically its own land that was given to Ukraine by Bolsheviks. It was taken from Russia by Bolsheviks and given to Ukraine without asking anybody. They didn't ask people here in Russia, are they okay to give up entire regions? No one asked Russian people about it, isn't it? And all those lands and those people that are living there, by the way, even Western media outlets are finding it difficult to ignore that locals in Kharkov region, in Donetsk region, Lugansk, Crimea, Zaporozhye, Kherson, everywhere, by the way, locals are on Russian side. This sentiment quite often are seen even in Western media outlets. When Kiev regime forces are complaining that the locals are not evacuating because they are waiting for Russians. Of course they are waiting for Russians, and if they have opportunity to stay there safely, they will stay. Because they are Russians. They always were Russians and part of Russian world. So first of all, Russia is not conquering nobody and nothing. Russia is liberating its own territory and its own people. That's first point. And secondly, when it comes to World War, well, it's not Russia that bring military infrastructure towards NATO borders of 91 or 92 or 95 or 2000. It was NATO, isn't it, that since the collapse of Soviet Union was constantly bringing its military infrastructure closer to Russia. That's just factual, isn't it? That's a historical fact. And even though there was a promise made that NATO will not move even inch eastwards. So if any one side is really bringing world closer to the world war is collective West. It's Western ruling class. And you know, so I don't think Russia is escalating. Russia is defending itself and will continue to do so, and hopefully at some point Western ruling class will realize one way or another that they lost this proxy war against Russia and they have to stop before it's not too late. That's what I think. And when it comes to time frame of the military operation itself, I just spoke about this topic. I think everybody was mistaken who was thinking that Russia will conduct some RO offensive operations. On first stage of their special military operation, Russia's plan was to force Kiev to start negotiations, and that's why we see large-scale offensive operations in the first days and the weeks. And this offensive was successful. Many people don't pay attention to it, but it was successful, by the way. And that's why Kiev regime agreed to conduct negotiations in Turkey, isn't it? And some preliminary results were achieved as a result of these negotiations. But then we know what happened, isn't it? This delegation, Ukrainian delegation, went back to Ukraine from Turkey. And, well, Boris Johnson, some high-ranking officials from US, and God knows who else from the West get involved, and they derailed this agreement between Russia and the Kiev regime. And Russia was demanding very little, by the way, from Kiev regime. According to information that is available in open sources, all Russia was asking is neutrality, respect of Russian speakers, and Russian language. That was a major demand from Russian side, by the way. That's it. There was some also nuances, of course. For example, when it comes to Ukrainian army, what kind of army neutral state Ukraine should have to not pose danger for any of its neighbors, including Russia. And there were some other topics also, but major demands from Russia was neutrality, respect of the rights of the Russian speakers in Ukraine, and the Russian language. And unfortunately, collective West get involved and they derail these peace talks. And that's why we are now where we are. And if we are now any closer to the world war than in 2022, that's because of the Western ruling elites, not Russia. That's my understanding of the situation. That was the only time, by the way, when Russia conducted these large-scale offensive operations, isn't it? During the beginning of the special military operation, because task was to force Kiev regime to start negotiations, and it was achieved. This task was achieved, but unfortunately then West get involved, and the Russian strategy, Russia start operating with the plan B, which is a slow, time-consuming, of course, this strategy of active defense to achieve demilitarization and denazification of Ukraine. Frosh Flanagan is commenting, more sanctions will just help the Russian economy. At this point, I mean, I guess very many people are thinking exactly like that. More sanctions will force Russian businesses to be even more effective. More sanctions will force Russian government to be even more effective. So, I mean, indirectly, Western ruling class with these thousands and thousands of sanctions really are helping Russia. They might just not realizing this, but that's exactly what's happening. And simultaneously, they are damaging Western reputation, Western economies, and financial and banking system. It is also obvious, isn't it? And surprisingly, very few people in the West are protesting this craziness of the Western ruling class. Majority is just probably watching this CNN, BBC, and rest of the crap, and well, digesting whatever they're being given, and they are believing in that crap, I guess. And that's why they probably think that they are living in garden no matter what is going on around. And Russia is some kind of, I don't know, Russia is in medieval times. Probably many people really believe in that. I don't know. That Russian economy is destroyed and people are starving to death and that kind of stuff. You know? You can see the reactions of the people when they see, for example, these like videos from supermarkets, for example. I mean, some, I guess many citizens of the West, they clearly are shocked because they were told something very different. And this was so obvious when, for example, Tucker Carlson came to Russia because he has huge audience and everyone started talking about it, isn't it? I mean, reaction of those people that were under propaganda was quite something, you know. They clearly didn't expect to see nice Moscow and supermarkets with you know with full of goods and stuff. They didn't expect that. Anyways, let's continue. And question Nidish Kumar is asking, I heard that the West is putting sanctions on supply of medicines to Russia. Is it true? Well, I did not see that news about medicine or medical equipment, although at this point nothing will surprise me, really. At this point nothing will surprise me. Even if West will impose sanctions on Russia, I guess countries worldwide that are big in production of medicine, including India, by the way, will still find ways to export medicine in Russia. That's how it's gonna be, man. No, but it's already 20,000 sanctions on Russia, isn't it? 20,000 sanctions being imposed, and what? What they achieve with this? Not much, isn't it? So it will stay this way. They can impose another like 10, 20,000 sanctions, and I mean, it will not really change that much situation. It will just force BRICS member states and the rest of the world basically to act more faster to create alternative financial and banking systems so that world will be free from dominance of the US dollar or the euro or Western financial and banking system. That's it. But still, by the way, I find it a little difficult to believe that these so-called elites in the West will go this far to impose ban on medicine. I mean, are they really that crazy? Although possibly they are, you know. So, and then, by the way, I shared this information about which I of course spoke during the first part of today's update, that Russian ally to become a strategic partner of the US, and of course I'm talking about Armenia. Decision was, reached by two sides, Armenia and Armenian and US leadership, to increase level of relationships towards up to strategic one, and well, of course, they would do something like that because after all, Pashinyan does whatever he is told to do by very same Washington. And then I shared this nice video, by the way. It's about 3 minutes. This is Russia. Different cities, different regions of the Russia. Nice video. It was Moscow, St. Petersburg. There was Vladikavkaz at one point. So yes, this video is on the channel on Telegram, and of course you can see it. Well, nicely done video. Today, of course, we celebrate Russia Day, and that's why I shared this video. And of course, congratulations once again, by the way, to all the citizens of Russia and all the guests of the Russia. Then I shared this video, these photos. Sorry, this is TS-100 or something like that. This is new Russian AWACS plane, new generation, and it's in a phase of testing yet, but most likely in a fairly short time it will become fully operational. It will be accepted in the Russian aerospace forces. Then this strange news, by the way, probably many of you see this information, that Argentine government is discussing with the Paris French government the possibility of transferring 5 operational French-made Super Étendard attack aircraft to Ukraine. This was reported by internet portal Info-B. So what is wrong with Milei, by the way? What is wrong with Milei, man? Maybe he wants some additional attention or something, because what the hell, man? Where is the Argentina and where is the Ukraine? And after all, just a year ago, Argentina was supposed to become a BRICS member state, and it was positioning itself as ally of BRICS. And now this move from Buenos Aires, this is sick, man. This is really sick. Argentinian people is better to wake up, man, and wake up quickly before they still have a country, because this Milei gonna destroy Argentina, man, 100%. And this is, I believe, this is the video when Russian armed forces destroyed Ukrainian S-300, and as you can see, strike was precise, and missile from air defense system reacted, and flown to some direction. Secondary explosions. So yes, Russian Air Force, Russian ground forces, Russian military intelligence, they are actively hunting air defense systems of the Kyiv regime and destroying them quite successfully. And also, by the way, this information is also interesting and somewhat strange. Well, several channels are reporting that Ukrainians have started building fortifications in the west of the country, specifically in Ivano-Frankovsk region. And this is Ivano-Frankovsk region, by the way, here. And they are building fortifications in this area for what? To, I don't know, man. This area, Uzhgorod area, this will become, once Ukraine will be divided, and you know my take on fate of Ukraine, isn't it? I believe once this conflict will end, Ukraine will be divided, and Western Ukraine will become under control of NATO, and the rest of the Ukraine under Russian control. But when it comes to Western Ukraine, it will be divided between Poland, Hungary, and Romania. And, well, in my understanding, Transcarpathia region, this area here, will become under control of Hungary. It was part of Hungary before First World War. And maybe Ukro-Nazis are building some fortifications to fight inevitable deployment of NATO troops, maybe Hungarian troops into Transcarpathia region. I don't know. I find it very strange to see those defense lines in Ivano-Frankivsk. Quite strange move. Maybe they are just exercising in digging trenches and stuff. I don't know, but well, quite interesting developments, isn't it? Just look, man. They are digging those trenches and building some fortifications. Interesting. You tell me what is going on there. Well, let's check for questions, by the way. It's Vlad Dade. Levan, what are your thoughts on UAP, UFO, and NLO phenomenon? Is it safe to say it's not secret weapons? Well, some of the unidentified flying objects definitely, most likely, I mean, I cannot know for sure, but most likely are some secret projects of different governments. Majority of them probably are some secret projects. Some part of it probably are some phenomenon of the nature that we don't yet understand. And that's it, I guess. I believe that somewhere out there in the space, in this vastness of the space, there must be civilizations, not just one or two or 100, but thousands, because universe is just immense, isn't it? But do I believe that like those aliens are like observing us and flying around? And no, because it's just if they have technologies for interstellar flights or intergalactic flights, can you imagine how clever those people are? And I don't think they have time to spend it on observing some primitive beings, because us, I mean, they see us as a kind of primitive beings, isn't it? Because we are not yet even on the first stage of on the Kardashev scale. We are not yet even first type of civilization, and we will need another 200 years at least, I guess, to become first type of civilization. And those ones that are able to, you know, conduct some interstellar, intergalactic flights, I mean, they are probably on second type of civilization, or late first. So they are just too clever for us. They are some super geniuses compared to us. And why would they spend time flying around? I mean, what are we that interesting, really? I don't know. I don't think so. You know, are we that unique? I don't think so. So I don't know. Although, by the way, I can believe that maybe there was some crashes on the planet during the, like, this, our planet exists for 4.5 billion years, about that. And over this time, of course, it is possible that some flying objects from some other civilizations crashed on this planet, but I find it difficult to believe that those beings, whatever they are really flying around and like watching us. Probably not. So still, I believe that there are some civilizations out there, but I don't think we are that interesting for them to spend on us too much time. Difference between us and first type of civilization is probably like between us and ants. So are we spend too much time by observing ants? Really? No. Maybe when we are kids, but That's it. So this is my answer. I don't know if my answer is good enough. I'm not qualified in this topic, of course. But yes, in my opinion, vast majority of these unidentified objects, flying objects, are some secret projects, and some part is some natural phenomenon that we just don't know yet. Then one Jack Lears is asking question. NATO has about 980 million people and Russia about 100 million people. So is China going to support Russia in the liberation of Ukraine? No, not with the manpower for sure. And well, when it comes to, I mean, let's hope there will be no confrontation. There will be no direct confrontation between Russia and NATO. And I believe that we will manage to avoid full-scale conflict between Russia and NATO. I really believe in that. I don't think we are about to enter Third World War. I just don't have that reading of the picture. But if we conduct some thought experiment and about possible conflict, full-scale conflict between Russia and NATO, then it will not play no role which side has how many people, because it will be end for everybody, entire world, because exchange of nukes, by the way, Russia has 5,000 to 6,000 nukes, isn't it? US has 5,000 to 6,000 nukes. About 1,500 nukes are deployed on both sides, approximately. So those nukes can be launched in a very short time. These other ones, they are on some storage facilities, but about 10 to 1,500 nukes are constantly deployed on Russian side and US side. Of course, France and the UK, they also have some number of nukes, about 300. So can you imagine what will happen if we end up in full-scale exchange? All those nukes are flying in and out. Can you imagine level of fire? Of course, some of the warheads will be intercepted, undoubtedly, but most likely majority of warheads will reach their targets. It will create, on a point of impact, it will flow into air, atmosphere, probably millions, if not millions, thousands, I mean, definitely millions, maybe even, cubic meters of dust. And also fires, by the way. Fires will erupt, and those fires will burn and burn and burn for months and months on end. And eventually, our planet will be enveloped by these particles of dust and ash that will block sunlight. For, I mean, scientists are, still discussing topic, but most likely from 3 to 5 up to 10 years. And temperatures will drop at least for several degrees, 2 or 3 degrees, which may not sound big, but it will devastate our planet. Crops will die worldwide. Famine will kill most of the people, and of course total destruction of the infrastructure. So humanity as we know it will end on that. So no, what difference it does makes in that case which side has how many million people. Yes, on a collective West, on NATO side, maybe it's 980 million, on Russian side 150 million, but in that scenario, which let's hope will never happen, does it make any difference? Because Third World War, full-scale war between Russia and NATO would not be fought by tanks, by the way. It will, nuclear weapons will finish everything. So, when it comes to Chinese support to Russia, China is a strategic partner of Russia and continues to be so. like India, by the way. It's not just China. I can understand that there is a strong anti-Chinese sentiment in the West, and they are trying to demonize not just Russia but China also simultaneously. That look at this, man, China and Russia together are plotting something against us. But in reality, it's collective Western ruling class that is constantly plotting something against China, against Russia, and against India, by the way. Also, isn't it? Just look at the news, by the way, and how strong anti-Indian steps are in the collective West. And India is also part of BRICS, of course, strategic partner of Russia, and they're a superpower, by the way. You know, with immense potential. For from 2050 to 2070, India will bypass US, by the way, by GDP. Even earlier than that, India will bypass US by purchasing power parity, and around 2070, India will be on the level of China when it comes to economical power, or maybe even bypass China. And collective West knows that also. So they want to get rid of all potential forces that may ever challenge them. You know, that's their view of this world. They want to be dominant force, and they see Russia, China, India as a parties that can be competitors, and they want to destroy all of them, and their and friendly nations towards these countries also. That's all it is. So of course, I mean, Russia will never need Chinese military personnel support, but well, and I don't think Russia really needs Chinese support in terms of some military weapons and stuff. Russia has enough its own weapons, so much so that Russia is continuing to export weapons, by the way. So, and still one of the biggest players on the weapons market. But when it comes to economical cooperation between Russia and China, of course, it's beneficial for both sides. China benefits from economical relationships with Russia, and Russia benefits from economical relationships with China. That's how it works. So it's, you know, Levan, it's to Dan Van Desburg is commenting, Levan, it's to prevent Atlas from fleeing into Hungary, Romania. Yesterday, a bus. Oh, Dan, you are correct, I believe. Although, why would they need strongholds to be built to stop this flow of military age males that are trying to run from Ukraine? I mean, it's a real strongholds there, you know, trenches and that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Maybe to stop. Maybe to stop those people that are trying to run from Ukraine, or maybe for some other reasons. Anyways, everyone, by the way, on many channels, this information was like looked at something strange, that in Ivano-Frankivsk region, Kyiv regime is building some defense lines. So, dear friends, let me continue. Very interesting news. I want to share with you that news, and well, of course, this one, by the way, that Armenia will leave the Collective Security Treaty Organization, CSTO. Their timing has not yet been determined. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan stated this today in the parliament. He was in the parliament and he made this statement, by the way. And do anybody is surprised among us? Of course not. And why? Because we had conversation about this topic earlier quite a number of times, and of course it was expectable that Pashinyan at one point will say that Armenia is leaving CSTO, and that's exactly what he said. Pashinyan, that on time of their choosing they will leave CSTO. Okay, no surprises really, but this is first time when on this level, on level of prime minister, this was said in Armenia. And simultaneously, by the way, in Yerevan, capital of Armenia, huge demonstrations are taking place today also. There was some clashes between the police and the Protestants that are demanding resignation of their Pashinyan. Inside the parliament also there was fighting between the MPs, and situation gets so tense that security Secret Service removed Pashinyan from the building and he was taken away. So Armenia is now on a crossroad. I can say that Armenia right now is on crossroad. If Washington will manage to maintain its grip on Armenia, well, unfortunately, most likely this republic then has no future. It will just fade away after some time, slowly and painfully. But if Armenian people will manage to get rid of these assets of the Washington that are formally in charge of Armenia, then things may turn around, of course. Then things may change dramatically for Armenia, and Armenia may receive some real chances for peaceful development and prosperity. So it's on a crossroads, by the way. And you tell me in last 20, 30, 40 years, any country where US went in, established full control over that country through different means, and eventually that country was not destroyed. Can you give me one example of that? There is none. So Armenian people definitely have a reason to protest and to be disappointed with the current situation and direction that Armenia is heading. Let's see how things develop. Also, by the way, Swiss Senate voted today to tighten the rules for granting 5 or C protection. I don't know what C protection means, or S protection status to Ukrainian refugees. Their decision was made in order to put an end to the so-called Ukrainian tourism, when refugees receive aid in Switzerland, return to Ukraine, and after a few weeks they are going back to Switzerland for more benefits. Is it real, man? Friends, are anybody here from Switzerland? Is this really happening, that kind of stuff? Unbelievable, man. These systems, by the way, systems of social security in Europe being abused so strongly, by the way, by many groups. And unfortunately, because of it, real refugees are struggling, while these fake refugees doing this kind of circus, man. Then, by the way, I shared this video of destruction of one Ukrainian Su-27, and another 2, according to reports, were damaged with shrapnels on one of the airfields. Yesterday I shared video of destruction of Su-25, isn't it, in the Dnipropetrovsk region, not far away from Kryvyi Rog. And this is Mirgorod, by the way. This is Mirgorod airfield. It's western Ukraine, I believe. So, yes, as I said, Russian forces are trying to hunt down Kiev regime's air force whenever it's possible. Then I shared a report about progress of special military operation during the previous 12 to 24 hours. And this is the video of Russian nuclear submarine, by the way, Kazan, in port of Havana in Cuba. Many people were looking for this sub. Where is it? And well, that's where this sub is, in port of Havana. And well, who knows, by the way, this sub is on official visit together with the Russian frigate. But in region, in Atlantics, by the way, and maybe somewhere in Caribbean Sea right now, they can be another who knows, man, 2, 3 Russian subs, you know. So interesting. But once again, by the way, this is a message from Russia. This is clearly a message from Russia to collective West or Western ruling class to be cautious, to be careful, because they don't want to play with nuclear fire, really. They already played too much. Let's see if Western ruling class will listen. And they will. At some point they will have no choice but to listen, because I mean, I'm constantly in the news, isn't it? All day, every day. And I really don't get to, and this is my life, by the way, since I was 17, to work with the news. And quite often my predictions are correct. Not always, obviously, but you know, quite often. And right now I just don't see analyzing information, all the information that is available in open sources that I know about, don't gives me a reading of the picture if we are just a step away from the full-scale nuclear war between Russia and NATO. No. Situation is tense, of course, but there will be no full-scale confrontation. Impossible. But messages, yes, messages, we will see some additional messages, and at some point Moscow may use some strong force to bring Western ruling class to their senses, but even then it would not provoke full-scale nuclear exchange, I believe. And this is Armenia, by the way. This is Yerevan. As I said, there was a meeting outside of parliament, and there was clashes between police and protesters. Many people were harmed as a result of these protests, and well, as I said, man, Armenia is on a crossroads, and it's all up to Armenian society which way country will go. And well, also this video is destruction of another German-made Marder infantry fighting vehicle. Probably many of you are remember, isn't it? When Germany started deliveries of these Marder infantry fighting vehicles, some experts, or so-called experts, in the West were predicting that Marders, by the way, together with SV-90, Swedish SV-90, is gonna become some game changers and stuff. And in reality, both these vehicles are quite, they don't really introduce themselves to the battlefield as something effective. I would not say that about Bradley. Bradley's showed themselves as a quite capable infantry fighting vehicles, but SV-90 and Marder, nah. And this is it, by the way, when it comes to information that I posted on my Telegram today. And let's see some questions, and I will end this update on that. Questions. Oh, let me check, by the way, here. Oh, Carlos Gaspar, thank you very much for your tip. And Jerry Cogan, thanks for Jerry Cogan is commenting, thanks for another great live chat show, Levan. Thank you very much, Jerry, for your attention and support, for your kind words. I appreciate that. Thank you. And let me check here. So just a sec, dear friends. And let me also thank dear friends to Terry for donation on PayPal. Thank you very much, Terry. Very grateful for your support. Thank you all, dear friends. Thank you all. And let's continue now with our program. Just a few questions, I guess, and I will end this update. Pedro Pablo is commenting the things, is there EU, European Union passed those laws for refugees, and now in Poland, in German, man, down problem. Yes, I guess if I understand correctly, Pedro, you are saying that these laws in Europe was created to help real refugees, and some people are abusing now that system, and I also have same opinion on this matter. And unfortunately, I guess real refugees being blackmailed by actions of these fake ones that can go in, take some support, whatever they are taking, then go back to their home, and after a few weeks do it again. I mean, this is not right. But a question. Jack Layers is asking, why does not Russia protect Armenia? Because they are Orthodox Christians. Armenians are not Orthodox Christians, Jack. Armenians are Gregorians. They are Christians also. And Armenia is, as far as I know, by the way, first country who become Christian. Georgia became Christian a little late. Georgia became in 337, and Armenia 324 or maybe a little earlier. I cannot remember now for sure. I mean exact number, but I mean religion has nothing to do with it, dear friend. That's for sure. What Russia did not do for Armenia. I mean, I can understand that Pashinyan's government is pushing this narrative, and probably Western media is also pushing this narrative that Russia did not help Armenia. But what Russia did not do exactly? Armenia was occupying 7 regions of Azerbaijan and also Nagorno-Karabakh region, by the way. And this was happening for decades. Armenia did not recognize Nagorno-Karabakh. Armenia itself did not recognize Nagorno-Karabakh as a state. Armenia did not recognize Nagorno-Karabakh did not conduct a referendum in Nagorno-Karabakh to bring this region into Armenia. Armenia did nothing, basically, in legal means. Everything has to be done according to law, isn't it? So Armenian government did nothing to protect Nagorno-Karabakh. Azerbaijan conducted military operation and successfully so established control not just over the Nagorno-Karabakh itself, but also over these 7 other regions. And I remind you, dear friends, that more than 1 million Azerbaijanis were refugees from these regions for decades, more than 1 million. And while Azerbaijan was conducting this military operation on its territory, because Armenian government did not recognize independence of the Nagorno-Karabakh, what Russia should do in that case? Russia had agreement, and still has agreement with Armenia, that if some third country attacks Armenia, Russia will protect it. But Azerbaijan did not attack Armenia directly. Azerbaijan did not conduct war on Armenia. Azerbaijan was conducting military operation inside its internationally recognized borders. So Russia or CSTO organization, by the way, had no legal means to intervene. All Russia could do is to send their peacekeepers to influence Azerbaijani leadership somehow and send peacekeepers to protect Armenian population of Nagorno-Karabakh as much as possible. And Russia did exactly that. And by the way, maybe you don't know, but several Russian peacekeepers died during that mission by protecting Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh. And as we are talking about this topic, by the way, today information was reported that Russian peacekeepers withdrawn from Nagorno-Karabakh. Withdrawal of Russian peacekeepers ended today from Nagorno-Karabakh. So from legal point of view, Russia could do nothing but to be supportive in terms of peacekeepers and in terms of humanitarian aid. And that's what Russia did, by the way. But Pashinyan is now pushing narrative. Pashinyan and his allies or his masters in the West, through their propaganda means, they are pushing narrative that Moscow should get involved and Moscow should fight this war against Azerbaijan. Really? Pashinyan is that clever, isn't it? And his Western masters. Are they that clever, or they think they are that clever? They are not, man. Russia had no legal means to conduct military operation in this case. And Russia did whatever it could, that was possible to protect civilians. That's it. So I will never accept this approach that Russia did not defend, protect Armenia. It's just not factual, dear friend. Although I can understand that you may think this way because Pashinyan's government is pushing this narrative, Western propaganda is pushing this narrative, although none of them are explaining situation that was created in Azerbaijan when Armenia was occupying these 7 regions and Nagorno-Karabakh was declaring itself as independent. That Armenia itself never recognized. You know? Anyways, Jack Lers is commenting, thanks for the reply. It is very upsetting to me about Armenia because Muslims frequently attack Christians in history and even today. Once again, dear friends, it's I would never take a discussion into topic of religion because just take a look what Christians did in medieval times, what Christians did during this крестоносные походы, how you say it in English, this when knights were basically exterminating just about everybody on their road towards Jerusalem. Крестовые походы. Just a sec, man. Crusades, by the way, yes. What Christians were doing during Crusades is that was not crimes. What Christians did in the First World War, in the Second World War, what Christians did to Indo-Pacific region, by the way, what Christians did to South and North America, what Christians did to African continent, what Christians did to Middle East. We are, by the way, we are no angels, you know, and that's why I don't want to go in this religious topic because yes, I'm Orthodox Christian, by the way, and Orthodox Christianity was always acting very differently. This Eastern Christianity, let's say. But still, by the way, we all are Christians, and our ancestors were acting not very pleasantly, to put it mildly. And therefore, for me, it's not about religion, by the way. To me, it's always about who you are, what you believe in, how you acting, and that's more important in my understanding. This we are humans. That's the main point about it. We all are humans, and this should be starting point. We are just humans, first of all. So thank you for your questions, Jack. And Nidish Kumar is commenting, asking, can Russia drag USA at their path for arming Azov battalion, or can BRICS make them accountable for this terror financing? Theoretically, Russia or BRICS member states may try to you know, theoretically anything is possible, isn't it? But in reality, it will have no. Russia can apply to UN's court, isn't it? And try to have some influence over the US leadership, but it will have no practical meaning. I mean, US leadership does whatever they want to do, and it's just objective reality. So, but fact itself that Washington now openly positions itself next to Azov neo-Nazi brigade, that's, I mean, immense disgrace, of course. And it's a shame. It's a shame that US political class has deteriorated that much, by the way. It's just, it's a shame, man. If I was US citizen, by the way, I would be ashamed that my government is now, I mean, openly, you know, stands next to neo-Nazis and the terrorists. That's shameful stuff, man. And dear friends, we had a good conversation, isn't it? We had a good conversation. Thank you all for participating, for your attention, and of course many thanks to all the members of our community who will join later on. Let me, yes, and who will join later on, or who will watch, sorry, later on in this in recording this video. We had a quite good conversation. So yes, thank you all, and see you tomorrow. Bye for now, and take care. Thank you.